Welcome, everybody, to the Fandom Nights podcast, where we break down pop culture one fandom at a time. Today, we are talking about The Mandalorian, Season 2, Episode 5,
Chapter 14.
Jedi. Chapter 14.
13, right? 13.
Yes, for the
13.
13.
Math is a wonderful
Directed
thing.
by Dave Filoni.
Right? Oh,
Yeah.
I saw that at the end, like his name pop up, and I'm like, so good.
Just because it's worth mentioning.
Yes. This was released last week. We did not get to this, but...
Because we had a COVID scare over here. Won't name names.
Thankfully, everyone's negative, but we just wanted to not record just in case we were spreading something. But yeah,
We're being safe, people.
Exactly. Even though we're not wearing masks and we're definitely not 6 feet apart.
6 inches, good enough.
But if we're all negative, we're fine, right? This is our personal fandom bubble.
Yeah, COVID doesn't cross in this border. COVID does not exist in the Fandom Nights. We're our own separate universe, just like Star Wars and other such fandoms.
So we're not going to do an actual, just straight up synopsis this time, but let's, Justin, you want to take us sort of through this?
Looking at your notes, yeah, this is definitely a synopsis.
I want to call it not a synopsis, but that was mainly just for the next one.
Like, I'm not going to do a synopsis, but I have a lot of talking points, and he's a whole full page full of them.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right, Dustin, what's your first talking point?
So it opens. See, I'm getting so used to doing the Avatar episodes that it's just like translating to Mando. Anyways, like I was trying not to do a synopsis while doing it. It just ended up being one because I'm just I did the Avatars before I did this one.
Oh yeah.
And so you just kind of wrote things as you were watching it. Yeah. But
and plus I've seen it so many times. I could do that.
Amazing. Just right off the bat, I was like. This episode, we have to do this no future spoilers because we got to talk about the next episode in its own world.
I want to ask one question though. Like, obviously the title was The Jedi. Mm-hmm. When did you obviously Ahsoka Tano was going to be there because Bo-Katan had sold Ahsoka. So how long in the episode did you expect Ahsoka? Me personally, I thought she wasn't coming till the end of the episode.
I thought it was. Just like anything nowadays, you just expect like, it's gonna
be the last third of the episode.
It's gonna be like The Force Awakens, where like you just see her for an instant at the end. You see Luke at the end, you're like, oh, I can't wait till next week's episode. But no, it's just like boom, right into the action, and it's amazing. And
it's the stealth of it. Oh my gosh. Just like kills someone.
You can't see anything until her lightsabers light up, and it's just like, oh, there she is, get her, and their lightsabers go out. And you're like, where'd she go? There she is! Get her!
What was your initial reaction with seeing those two white lightsabers just ignite and just come into the scene, though?
I guess my initial reaction was...
Did you know who that was at first, or no?
I knew it was Ahsoka.
Okay.
Yeah, because I knew that she had two lightsabers.
Right.
She was holding them different than she did originally, because she had one like backwards originally. Like,
that's how she normally fights.
Right. But in this one, she was holding them normally until the one scene where she flipped it around. Maybe I wasn't paying attention that much.
I mean, it's not her main stance. But it's one of her stances. Because
honestly, I was just enjoying it so much.
But remember, at the end of the episode, she does flip it around.
Yep, yeah.
So it's not her main.
I think she's very adaptable when it comes to like fighting styles.
Yeah.
Oh right. Well, because she has one, like her right saber is normal size, and her other one is a shorter one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was just enjoying it so much. I didn't even like pay attention that she had two. I'm like, oh, she has two. Like, didn't even think about it until that one scene where she like ignites them both and like opens it up slowly, and then. I don't know, it just looks so cool. I'm like, are they connected together? No, they're not, but it just looked super cool.
Give me that samurai feel of just like taking it out of the, what is it called?
The sheath?
The sheath, yeah.
Yeah. This episode in general with the Western meets samurai thing, they've melded it so well together. Mm-hmm. It was Western, samurai, and sci-fi. Just if you wanted to introduce someone to all that stuff, this is the episode to do that.
This, just seeing her automatically made me want to watch Rebels.
I know. Even though the quality of that, especially in the beginning, you're just like...
So you guys did notice how her montrals are a little shorter than...
I did know that. Yeah.
Is there a reason for that?
So that the fight scenes could be a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Oh, so she can move around a little bit better.
Right.
Because in Rebels, they go down to like here, or like even like longer.
And there is another point I want to kind of bring up later, at the end of the episode. I feel like it's just a better point to talk about it, but we'll get to there.
Something to look forward to.
So I'll continue with the points here. So, you know, after that whole Ahsoka Tano stealth scene, she like walks up to the gate or whatever, and the magistrate is sitting there. with the Beskar spear. That was cool. Like
But you don't know what that is at that time.
Right.
Yeah. Personally, like her being a magistrate, all I thought was, oh, it's just like a scepter, like something that like shows her rule.
Right.
Like this
I didn't
is
even think about it as a spear.
A symbol of like her leadership.
She looked like older, so I'm like, oh, she's not going to be anything. And then like when the fight scene started later, again, we're just going to kind of jump around on this episode, but when the fight scene started later, I'm like, oh, they're actually
she's super spry,
and she's Bruce Lee's. She's related to Bruce Lee somehow. I don't remember.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's like his granddaughter. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But yeah.
So after that, I just put that I love how she appears and disappears with turning off lightsabers, like in that scene though, like Ahsoka, when she would like kill someone and then she would turn them off and then just kind of disappear into the smoke. Like the smoke kind of was just going in front of her or whatever and just made her disappear.
I seriously just need to spend like a whole weekend just binging nothing but Clone Wars.
Yeah. It's good. Sometimes it is hard to get through because some of the episodes are really, really kiddie, but through all that kiddie stuff is like really good content.
What?
In the Clone Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say the beginning is more kiddie, but as soon as you get into like seasons 4, 5, 6, and 7 especially, way more geared to like teenagers and adults, I personally feel. The next thing, I noted that, Ahsoka is not after any item, she's after knowledge.
Yes.
She's like, you know something that I, need to know. Not those words verbatim, but...
Right.
So we know she's not after any particular thing, she's just after something that she knows. So that just kind of makes you wonder what she wants to know. But I personally always thought she was looking for Ezra the whole time because of the ending of Rebels. So, like, that's just kind of where she is at this point.
What does she say at the end, or do you want to wait to get to that?
What?
We'll wait till the end.
Okay.
Yeah. So then it cuts
You really just want to keep jumping up back and forth.
I do. It's just like, once you're at the end, you just like look back on the whole episode, you're just like, man, that was great. But
so so it cuts to Mando and Baby Yoda, and Baby Yoda is wanting to play with that little ball or whatever. But he's like, no, go sit in your seat or whatever. And then it just like he starts using the Force and
just unscrew it. Yeah.
I thought that was cool. The compound that what's this planet called? Corvus? Yeah, Corvus.
Yeah.
The compound on this planet is huge though. There was a shot kind of showing the whole compound when the Razor Crest comes in on the planet.
Oh yeah.
And it just looks like it looks like Bossy and Say size almost. I hate to merge
merge our fandoms.
But not quite that size, but I don't know. Maybe
Omashu?
There you go. Maybe Omashu size. It was definitely Omashu size.
Was it really that big? I'll have to look at it.
It was huge. Like those walls didn't curve right away. I mean, they went out for quite a while.
Okay.
So then when Mando finally lands, we see these like Brachiosaurus dinosaur creatures in the distance.
Yeah, I'm like, what the heck are those things?
I thought those were ATs.
Oh, I thought they were Rancors.
Oh, really?
I was getting all excited. I'm like, the first little shot of it, I'm like, is this the planet where Rancors are from? But
that would be cool.
I know, it would have been awesome.
They're actually from the same place Maul was from.
Oh,
really?
Okay. I remember that now, yeah. But I was all excited. I'm like, there's Rancors on this planet.
That would be cool.
We're going to use Rancors to
because
attack
obviously,
the base.
like, they took a Rancor and took it to Tatooine, so obviously others could be on other planets.
Good point.
Good point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like how other creatures on Earth transport to different parts of the Earth because of human contact. So Mando gets to the compound and kind of exchange words a little bit at the gate with that hired gun, which is named Lang. And so they're like, "Are you a hunter?" And Mando's like, "Yep." Guild? Last I checked.
That was so cocky and really good.
I like how he just didn't. Last I checked, because it was with the guild. It was before.
Well, remember he took Baby Yoda at the very beginning of season 1, like episode 2 or whatever. So he takes Baby Yoda and all the bounty hunters are after him. The whole guild's after him. I think after Baby Yoda saves Greef Karga. Remember, he force heals Greef Karga. Yeah. I think Greef Karga goes and tells the guild, like, "Yo, this guy's good. Like, he saved the baby for a purpose. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's never showed on screen.
Right. Because when he said, "As far as I know," I was like, I think he's not part of the guild anymore. But that's like the easiest way of lying about it.
Do you remember when he comes back this season to Navarro a couple episodes ago? He says, "How's my cred around here?" He says, "Oh, it's holding good or whatever.
Right, but that could be just around here because.
But that's where the guild is, where he is from.
Yeah, but wouldn't the guild be galaxy spanning, not just that little area?
Yeah, but that's the one sector where he goes to.
Right. Okay.
That we've only known.
That makes sense.
Can only go based off information I got, man.
Yeah.
Nope, you just know everything about Star Wars off the top of your head, right?
Yeah.
If it's on this device. So Mando goes into the compound, whatever, and starts trying to look for information. And he tries to start talking to some civilians.
Nobody wants to
talk. He's like, "Excuse me, broker," and she's like, just walks away.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Ugh." Okay.
Which I thought was weird, just straight up calling them a vendor.
Yeah.
Oh, vendor, yeah.
Vendor.
Excuse me, vendor. And then he tries talking to this other character, and he says, please do not talk to these kids, or don't talk to me. Like, don't talk to anyone. And the guards interrupt.
Mean mugs him.
Instantly, the guards come by, take Mando, and then they just, like, glare at him. Mm-hmm. He's just like, I didn't see anything. Like, he's so scared.
He's like, it's alright, it's alright.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he doesn't want to end up in one of those cages.
Right, and then the next scene, you see those
cages. Imagine having to stand there, and then you get so tired,
you fall down and you get zapped.
But you can't just fall down because then you continually get zapped.
So it's just all right next to your body. So if you move a tiny little bit, you get zapped. So
right.
There's only one little spot you can stand in.
Pretty much. You have like a little bit of wiggle room, but if you go too far,
it's such a weak form of torture. But it's like the water drip torture, where it's like, oh, it's not that bad, but like over a long period of time, it would be horrible.
Let's say you're up for a week straight, because obviously you're not going to fall asleep standing up. So then after that, you're going to be so exhausted, I think your heart is just going to eventually explode from just the shock of the actual or whatever.
Yeah, you'd be like so delirious and stuff from being awake and standing there forever.
Yeah. You eventually just, your heart rate, I think, would just stop, I feel like. Just too much torture. So after that, the guards tell him that the magistrate wants to talk to him, and so I thought it was pretty cool that there's a clear distinction between the outer rim, essentially, of the compound, which was like a wasteland, and then as soon as he enters into here,
it's like nice,
just
and peaceful.
Green, luscious plants everywhere, trees, and it's just
it's quiet
and peaceful. I'm just like, man, that's where I want to be right now.
What happened to like the atmosphere too? Because like it looks like you're in a completely different like area.
There's like air cleaners and
and like you see the sun.
Right.
Yeah, completely new world. So the magistrate offers him a job. Said that a Jedi is plaguing me right now, and so Mando says, "Well, my price is high," and she's like, this bounty is priceless. Like, it don't matter. Like, get it done. And so she's like, "I'll give you this Beskar spear."
Yeah,
and he doesn't know it's Beskar.
Is this the time where she like tings? Yeah, she tings it, and it's like, and it does that ringing thing. You're like, ooh, that's a special spear.
That's a special spear. As soon as I saw that, though, I mean, it's you have to give something to Mando for him to fight Moff Gideon, because it's the only thing he's going to be able to fight against the Darksaber. Is that spear. Yeah. Because no other weapon he has.
I'm glad it introduced it in this episode that thing can withstand. Well,
a lightsaber.
Yeah, this is the first time we've ever seen Beskar withstand a lightsaber.
Yeah, because later down we'll talk about it. But
well, I mean, you don't. There's no other. The only time you ever see a lightsaber in this series is at the end of season 1.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't even see it used. He just turns it on.
Right.
Well, he cuts out of the TIE fighter.
Still, yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah. No actual like combat use. And what's his name? Giancarlo
Esposito.
Esposito. He even like said like prior to the season coming out, he's like, "Man, my action scenes are gonna be just so dope." But I'm just like, we haven't seen nothing yet. Like these last two episodes are gonna be absolutely nuts. Because he's bragging online about his combat scenes in the Mandalorian and stuff.
Which guy?
Moff Gideon.
Oh, and he's saying how
the actor is
his action scenes
was
are
bragging.
amazing.
He's like, my action scenes are amazing.
And
can't wait for you guys to watch it.
Yet.
Haven't seen nothing yet. We've seen him just turn it on and toy with us, man.
Yeah, and just stand there looking all menacing.
Right.
That's it.
So after this, Mando asks, where can I find this Jedi? And then it kind of pans to them leaving the compound.
The whole episode up to this point for Mando is just amazing, because like I love how he doesn't answer any question with a straight answer.
Yeah,
he's like, yes or no. It's just maybe.
True.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
And then she lets him go just on, like, if you can bring her back to me, then you'll get this spear. And he's like, okay, I'll try. He just, like, goes out there. But it worked out really well for him because he wanted to find out where the Jedi is. And they're like, here's a contract to go find the Jedi. He's like, sweet. That's exactly what I wanted to do.
I thought it was pretty cool, too, is that the magistrate said that you are well suited for this mission. And I thought that was quite literally, too, because his Beskar armor is quite literally well suited for...
a suit.
Because it's essentially an armor suit, you know?
But,
we need to get a little drum set in here to do that. It'd be funny.
Just a little mini one.
Yeah. Buy it on Amazon. Anyways. So I just really... I want to point out, too, that I really love the formal respect that the show has for, like, weapons. Like, especially when handing another weapon to another person. Yeah. Like, just there's been a couple times in the before episodes too, but in this episode especially,
in the before times,
with the magistrate and the spear and stuff, like just the pure respect of handing a weapon over is just kind of cool to me. Yep, the hired gun is named Lang. It's another topic note I have here. It's not a synopsis.
Pretty dang close to a synopsis, man. You got a lot of notes.
I know.
It's good.
So, I said I like how the hired gun said. He's like, why do you keep that, Baby Yoda?
Oh yeah.
Like, I keep it for luck.
I loved the whole scene when he walked in there and then came out and all this stuff. He has Baby Yoda just in this little like pouch, and you don't even notice him. Like seems like he's the only one who noticed him because he was like standing there with him for a little while. You know. I don't know, it's just kind of cool how it's just hidden in the cape. And
that's like the first time like, since he walked through the gates that like Baby Yoda even made a noise.
Right, yeah.
Like, you finally have like the cape back a little bit and he's like...
Yeah, I keep him for luck. I love that.
I keep him for luck.
Well, it's not really that untrue because he gets him out of some jams sometimes.
I think it was more green, luck of the Irish, little sort of dwarf. You know,
oh, yeah. He's a little leprechaun. He's a little lucky
little
leprechaun.
Jeez.
Hey, I didn't say the M word, so dwarf is better than saying the N word.
I think little people is what they prefer.
But isn't the not legal, but like
the politically correct term is little people.
It's not dwarf anymore.
No.
Sorry,
little
dwarfs.
person.
The Seven Dwarfs of Snow White. One of them being
see, those are
Mr.
fantasy.
Over here.
Those are fantasy dwarves.
Yeah, fantasy dwarves is different.
Yeah,
that's
why like
people.
you can use.
You can call them dwarves, but you can't.
The same with Lord of the Rings.
Are they? I don't think they're dwarves. I don't think that's their race of like.
In
people.
Lord of the Rings and stuff, yeah.
Or in Snow White.
Oh,
yeah, they are.
In Snow White, yeah, they're dwarves.
No.
It's the Seven Dwarves. He's just we're being all serious and he's just like trying to start a fight.
Oh, these guys are too easy.
Just table flip.
I swear they're dwarves.
No.
Can you like edit in like a technical difficulty part like right at that one? Just
all right, cool thing. Did you guys notice when Mando was walking through the woods or whatever, the burned down woods? Did you guys notice a little bird?
Yes, I did notice that.
You guys noticed
Rosie even pointed out. She's like, "Oh, look, that bird is gonna." Oh, wait, no, you never see it again. but it's more. I didn't remember the name, but that's the.
It's Ahsoka's bird.
That's the like physical manifestation of the light side of the Force or something.
The daughter, yeah.
The daughter of the light side of the Force.
Not the daughter of the light side. It's just the daughter.
The daughter
who represents the light side of the Force.
Who represents right? Yeah.
I did not notice the bird.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It looked.
Well, you hear the bird shrill 2 times in this episode too.
Yeah, but like I didn't see it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So when it's kind of like a up top shot from here, and it shows Mando kind of just walking,
and the bird's kind of blurry, but in the foreground.
No, it's on a branch.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, kind of blurry, but it turns around just its head quick, and then
I'm gonna have to rewatch it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy how every little detail in this series like means something or has like some story to it. Like so the physical manifestation of the light side of the Force was with Ahsoka, basically. That's what that means.
Is it following Yoda?
Or maybe
I don't like when you say that, Chris.
Why?
Because it's not. Because the light side of the Force is everywhere, and Biden's in everything.
I know, but the physical manifestation of the light side of the Force is that bird which is Morai.
But it could show up anywhere.
It could show up anywhere, but he was
Technically,
there.
technically, if you want to be technical about it,
Technically,
Ahsoka would be the physical embodiment of the light side of the Force, because the daughter healed and gave her life to Ahsoka to heal Ahsoka back on Mortis. So technically, Ahsoka has the life energy
let's all push
of
up
the
our
light
glasses
side of the
at once.
Force. Just saying. I'm right.
So that was cool. Anyways.
So bird, got it.
Got it. There's a bird.
I'm right about the bird, though.
I'm right about the bird.
Just don't give me crap about my one-eyed telescope.
I saw that just now.
Mando looked through his one-eyed telescope.
Honestly, I'm gonna give you more crap that you would one eye's telescope.
Yeah. Well,
one eye's telescope.
sorry, I wasn't really paying attention to, whatever the iPhone stuff does to you.
Yeah.
Autocorrect. So then, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Ahsoka Tano starts fighting Mando. And it was just really cool to see the Beskar hold up against the lightsaber. Didn't even scratch it, hardly.
You could tell that Mando was stumbling though, and if he wouldn't have called her name, she would have just destroyed him. Yeah.
Oh, of course.
He was doing everything to hold on, just stumbling back, and he's like, Ahsoka Tano! And then she stops. It was good.
I don't know. Personally, I feel like Mando would have a good shot.
I feel like if he was trying to kill her, he would have been able to do something.
If he hadn't been surprised.
Right.
But again, he was under the impression of, I need to find this person for Baby Yoda, and I need to talk to her. Oh, she's trying to kill me.
So he was in defensive
Panic,
yeah.
defend. Yeah, but if it came to...
If he was going to attack, he'd be different.
Right. If he would have said Ahsoka Tano and nothing changed and she kept fighting him,
yeah.
Then that'd be crazy.
It was cool that they fought for a second, though, because you're just like, okay, they're...
It was just cool to see the Beskar used the way it was intended to be, essentially.
Yeah. Versus the Jedi. Yeah.
Right. Oh, another cool thing in the next episode.
Yeah, that brings back the well-suited to go on this mission or whatever. He's literally well-suited. He's wearing Beskar. He's a bounty hunter. So it's, great, your bounty hunter came down. You're well-suited for this. But he's also a Mandalorian, which is the traditional enemies of the Jedi. So he's the perfect person to go after Ahsoka.
Because the Mandalorians were the only person that actually stood a good chance against the Jedi.
Yeah, because of the Beskar.
Right.
So Beskar is immune to Jedi lightsabers. There was also, did you ever read the Bane books?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
long time ago.
Doesn't Bane get some scale thing growing on his skin to block lightsabers? It's some animal that it's like a leprosy almost, but he purposely infects himself because the scabs or whatever, or the fungus or whatever it is, I don't know, blocks lightsaber. I don't know. It's kind of cool.
I don't know.
Obviously, it's all legends now.
There's a Clone Wars episode. I forget what the monster is called. I'm not gonna think of it off the top of my head. But anyways, it's just big. I want to say it's almost like the big Cloverfield monster looking thing, but it has scales like a dinosaur or whatever that are lightsaber. They can't be affected by a lightsaber. It's stronger than Beskar. It's the strongest thing known to the Star Wars universe, apparently, according to that episode, as far as armor could be. And so they killed that monster, and then Palpatine was going to use it to try to grow more, to get more armor.
Okay.
Because he wanted to use it for its armored purposes. So he took it to a bunch of scientists or whatever.
Okay.
That's when we go through Clone Wars in 4 years.
Yeah.
So yeah.
In 4 years.
Whenever we get to that, I guess. Honestly, I just think Rosario Dawson is just gorgeous, man.
Okay.
I just think she's gorgeous. I just had to point that out there because I just love Ahsoka's smile in this, in her eyes, just sparkle. I don't know. She's just pretty.
She did really good bringing her to life as
because as soon as she smiles, it immediately made me think of the animation for her when she smiles.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was just like, man, that hits home. That's that's just perfect.
Yeah.
Well, even the
she
voice
has
actress...
a very dramatic face where the features are I want to say cartoony, not
animated,
but in a good way. They're not just normal features. So it with the makeup and all that stuff on it works.
Yeah. So then, obviously, she stops fighting Mando. Like, I hope it's because of that guy. So then...
Oh, yeah. I like how she just is about to kill him, and then she's like, oh, I hope it's because of him. Just, like, all nice and calm.
So then, like, a whole night goes by, and Ahsoka and Baby Yoda are just sitting there.
I love that scene. I love that there's no talking. There's
they're just communicating through the Force.
And, yeah, I don't know. It was just really good.
I just loved watching Mando pace.
I know. He's like, what the heck is going on?
Taking so long.
Jedi crap. I don't understand it. Yeah.
And then we get the biggest reveal for this episode. Baby Yoda's name is Grogu.
Which?
I said, like...
Oh, I thought you said...
No.
I was like...
It's crazy how, like, there's no backlash against it at all. Like, and it works. It fits. It's perfect. Like, I couldn't think of a better name for Baby Yoda. Because it's like, he's a little guy, he's growing, and he's kind of like a baby. So, goo-goo. Growing goo-goo. I don't know. It just fits perfectly.
Well, I mean, like, you could literally give him, like, any name that's, like, along the same, like...
Along the
linguistics
same...
as Yoda.
Right.
Because, like, there's so little known about their race.
Right.
That, like, you could literally call him, like...
Oh.
Bleeblo.
Another thing I want to point out is...
You'd probably get backlash for that.
Yeah. Bleeblo. Like, really?
Remember when we thought that he was going to bring Baby Yoda back to his kind? Did you? I originally thought he was going to bring him back to, like, the species.
That's what I thought, too.
So now it's the Jedi kind.
That's what he's doing,
That's what we're going towards now.
Uh-huh.
Which I think is a cool turn, but I was actually a little bit bummed that we're not going to get anything on the species, probably. Yeah. Unless, you know... We'll talk about that next episode.
So this episode dropped a ton of stuff. Grogu, it dropped that he was in the temple.
I have that whole...
Yeah, go ahead.
He was trained at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. Many masters trained him over the years. At the end of the Clone Wars, the Empire rose to power, and then he was hidden, and someone took him from the temple, and then his memory becomes dark. He seemed lost and alone.
Yeah, like, holy crap. He was in the temple at some point. Who knows when he was taken out of there, whether it was during the attack or
when the Empire rose to power.
Right, but, like, was he in the temple when Anakin was on his rampage?
No, I saw a post that when Anakin was actually in the temple, he sent a text message to... He's like, bro, leave the temple, it's about to get bad.
Don't come to school tomorrow.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to actually drop some real knowledge.
No,
something actually came out. No, just a text.
Hey man, I want to thank you for being a real friend.
Yeah. No, I saw a meme of that exactly. It was Anakin, and then like a phone like photoshopped into his hand, and he's just like, and the next screen was just like, Grogu, that, yeah. Please leave.
Even Anakin in his darkest moment, he's like, I can't kill Grogu. But then this... Yeah, sorry.
I can kill all these other kids.
Yeah, I was like, kill all the other younglings.
Well, Grogu was special to him, man. He was one of the last of Yoda's species. Of course he had to have some sympathy. There's tons of humans out there. Kill all the human kids.
I've seen a lot of theories and stuff with Yoda and Yaddle, right? Because she was in the throne... She was on the council. And she's in episode 1.
Deleted scenes.
A deleted scene from episode 1.
She's not in episode 1.
She's technically not canon either.
Oh, she's technically not canon?
I don't think deleted scenes are technically canon. Deleted scenes are actually not considered canon.
Okay.
So, like, there's even, like, a deleted scene from Attack of the Clones that shows Padme's, like, nephew and niece and her sister and stuff.
Oh.
And then, like, they have dinner at their house and stuff like that.
I've never seen that one.
Because then, remember when Padme's death in Revenge of the Sith, there's these kids walking behind?
Sure.
Those are the nephew and kids from that deleted scene.
Okay.
So but they're not canon until that, funeral moment.
Oh, okay.
But just like this deleted scenes are not canon.
Well, there was just people, like, talking about how Yoda and Yaddle were, like, allowed to, like, have a baby somehow.
Yeah, because of Kiatamundi. Because Kiatamundi was another species who had to populate, I think, with more than like 20 people or something.
Right, because his species was about to go extinct. So because for reasons like that, then the Jedi are like, okay, yeah, you can have kids because you're like the only one left.
Right.
Which it's just weird.
That's a cool.
It's like being the last two pandas in a zoo.
Right.
Richard.
Dang it!
I shouldn't have said that. I was so excited to see Richard.
I know.
Anyways, we'll say that for the other universe.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get through this topic notes, not synopsis. So then, yeah, basically says that I only knew one other Jedi, or I only knew one other being like this, and it was a wise Jedi master.
Which, when she said that, then I'm like, so Yaddle isn't canon because she was on the council. Like, there's another being just like Yoda that you think you would have known about. I only knew
one other being, and his name was Yoda.
Right, but I'm saying like
he's saying this is proof that Yaddle wasn't canon.
Right, because Ahsoka has been to the Jedi temple multiple times, and she's never like heard anyone mention, oh yeah, that Yoda. There's another one just like him rocking around here. So it's a girl version of it.
Right.
Like so. Yeah,
I'm sure that's why it was a deleted scene, because they wanted to probably keep Yoda as the only one.
Yeah.
So that now that there's one other one, again, we still have to know how it was born. But then again, I've had some theories too about how Yoda species could be just like a somewhat, not completely force-born, but somewhat of
either
like
force-born or they like, what was that that mechanic when he landed on Tatooine? She's like, if this thing ever like mitosis or whatever she said, like splits or how did she say it?
No, yeah, if
I don't know.
Reproduces or whatever.
Yeah, if this thing ever reproduces, I want the babies or the offspring or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, I do too, but
everybody does.
So yeah. Oh, so when Ahsoka and Grogu are sitting there and she says Master Yoda, do you notice Grogu wake up and look at Ahsoka? Did you guys notice that?
I didn't notice that.
So a little bit, yeah.
So it's the whole shot of Ahsoka, Mando, and Yoda, or Grogu sitting here. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, I only knew one other being like this, Master Yoda. And then Grogu immediately looks at Ahsoka. And Ahsoka looks back and smiles and nods. Huh. So again, what that means...
They obviously knew each other, you know.
Right.
At
I think Grogu knew Yoda.
Right, yeah.
Because that name rang super familiar to him.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Cool note.
That was cool.
Not synopsis. I sense much fear in you, is what Ahsoka also said to Grogu, so that we know that there's some
fear
dark side.
Leads to anger.
And anger leads to hate.
And hate leads to suffering.
Suffering is the dark side. Anyways. So... Nerds! So, he had to hide his abilities to survive over the years. And I just wanted to point out that I love how Baby Yoda reacts to his name, Grogu.
Mm-hmm. Oh, just over and over again.
Yeah, every time he says Grogu. Huh? Yeah. Huh? This is awesome.
I still like Hey Kid, though. I love Hey Kid.
Hey Kid.
Mando says, Hey Kid. I like that better, but Grogu will do.
Yeah.
So then Ahsoka tries to teach, or tries to test, I guess, Grogu on taking the stone or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that doesn't work, so then she wants Mando to do it with that little ball thing from the ship.
Which he doesn't... As soon as he like put that in his pocket earlier when they got off the ship, I'm like, that's going to come back. I really want one of those little ball things. I don't know why. I want
to, like, on Etsy, I'm sure they're there.
I'm sure they're there somewhere, yeah.
So then, Grogu just immediately, like, takes the little ball thing, and he's like, good job, kid!
I know, he's so excited.
He's like the proudest dad ever.
I know! It's so cool to see. I just loved it. I just love those father-son moments on that show. It's just cool. So then Ahsoka says, I cannot train him. And she's like, I've seen what such darkness can do to a fully trained Jedi Knight. Obviously referring to Anakin.
That was like the best part of the episode, in my opinion.
That hit me hard.
I know. Because it's not that he's too old. It's not that this. It's not any other reason. It's just like...
He's full of too much anger.
He has fear and...
Anger
not even fear. He's attached to you, Mando. So because of his attachment, I've seen what that attachment leads to in a fully realized Jedi. It's like... Whoa. Okay. Yeah.
Well, it's not the attachment. It was the darkness.
I'm pretty sure she said something along the lines of...
I'm pretty sure when I was doing this, I literally voice chatted what the corrective, or the closed captioning.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I thought she did mention that he was he shows a strong attachment to you, or something like that.
She mentions that, yeah.
Which maybe she didn't mention it at that point, but because of that, and because of the darkness and the fear, whatever.
Some brutal language right there, Chris.
I know.
Jeez, calm down on your notes.
I didn't write this.
It was like, holy F! It's a good start like this.
That's Reddit for you. They just swear it a lot.
I think because what she mentions is that like because of his attachment to you, he's always going to be afraid.
Correct.
Yeah.
Just like Anakin was always afraid of his mother,
right?
And then it translated to Padme,
right? Which
is Ahsoka leaving the order,
which is good and bad because like the attachment thing and what the Jedi train to not have attachments, it's I don't know. What do you feel? How do you feel about that? Like how the Jedi trained their people to not ever have attachments and love and all that stuff.
I mean, I think
you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Because it's just like any kind of monk style religion. It's just like the Airbenders and Avatar. I'm sure they do. Obviously, they do repopulate and have kids, but
they have spouses and stuff.
But it's along the same lines of like somewhat celibacy. I don't know. It's not shown that Monk Gyatso ever had any physical children or any of those actual monks had children.
Well, Aang had children.
He was the last Airbender, dude.
That's a good point.
He was almost extinct.
I didn't think about that, so maybe they had to.
The Fire Sages on Ember Island.
What about them?
Or Roku Island.
Well, Avatar aside, that's a whole other thing.
But I'm saying, like,
in the
with
Jedi.
that lifestyle, like the Fire Sages, that one sage who like helps Aang during that episode is like, my grandfather used to be a sage here.
Yeah.
So it's like
I'm just saying, like celibacy. I feel like, in general, it's a good thing in some ways, but it in general leads to other problems. Like in real world, like the Catholic celibacy of like Catholic priests lead to bad things happening in churches sometimes. You know what I mean? Like the same version, not the same, but like a different version of that in Star Wars. The Jedi being celibate and all that stuff, and never having attachments leads to problems such as all the children being massacred by a crazy person once he discovers sugar for the first time. Like, I don't know.
Sugar's pretty sweet.
I only bring that up because if you raise a kid who never ever give them sugar, then once they have sugar, they just go crazy for it. Like if you ever give a kid who's never had sugar, they're nuts. But if you give them one, like if you give Rhea sugar right now, she'd be like, "Oh, that was really good," and then just go along with her day. It's like the whole moderation thing, like we talk about, but. I don't know. I don't feel like just completely.
I mean, you have a completely like dark force, like corrupting you though, with Star Wars.
Attachment though, corrupting you.
Well,
I don't agree with that. Like,
no.
I see that.
I don't
Maybe
think
this is a discussion for another time.
No. I think his attachment to Padme wasn't a bad thing. I think his attachment to Palpatine at the same time, having another outside force, was what drove him to be so clingy and desperate.
Yeah.
Like,
it does make you a lot more easily manipulated.
Yeah, I don't think that's why, like, with what we're seeing in this episode, I would love to see an on-screen canon viewing of like the Grey Jedi.
Yeah. Well, it's just sad because Grogu and Mando, that relationship is so good.
You don't like that?
And it's so great, but like to be
you don't like the Grey Jedi or what?
I scratched my nose.
Oh, the way you did it, like you did like two fingers, so I was like, did I just strike a nerve with Dustin?
Oh no, my nose is sorry.
No, but I'm just saying, like the father-son relationship between Grogu and Mando is so good, and that's we can all agree that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But then to be a Jedi, you can't have that, which comes up in this scene where Mando's like, or maybe a little bit later, but when Mando's like, you have to go with the Jedi now, and it's like, no, but I don't want to leave you, Dad. You know, it's just sad. So it's like, it's a good thing, but it's also not a good thing.
Yeah,
to
but
be
if
a
you
Jedi.
don't form that attachment to begin with, you don't have those sad feelings.
Yeah.
And you always remain neutral in your emotions.
Which is exactly
always
why
able to think logically and not think so biasly between two people when you're being the peacemaker.
Which is why the Jedi would take younglings so
right.
that they wouldn't have that
I just
emotional
feel like,
attachment.
I mean, in the real world,
we need emotional attachment.
We need to have attachment.
But but
they're humans in the Star Wars universe. I feel like, I mean, they're
I don't think they're called humans.
Yeah, they're in Star Wars. They're called humans.
Yeah.
But so they're like made or evolved, if you want to say, or whatever in the universe, to be in community with each other, and that
this
means
religion
to be
of Jedi. Yes.
Yeah.
Not every human. It's just the
I don't
Jedi.
know. I'm just saying.
And it's not all Jedi are human either. There's alien Jedi.
Yeah, that's true.
So again, it's not a race thing. It's not anything like that. It's pure religion. It's just like believing in Buddhism or whatever else you want to believe in. You follow those beliefs to a T.
Yeah. Interesting. Anyway, sorry.
So we get through his training or his testing.
I forgot where we were.
So we got through his testing.
I know. So after Ahsoka says that she's not going to train Grogu, and he's like, "Why? Because he's got so much darkness. That's why you need to train him."
He's so metal.
He listens to heavy metal all the time. Wears eye makeup and
Screamo.
Baggy pants.
Yeah. So, anyways, Mando tells her that the magistrate sent him to kill her, and that they need to make a deal to help the town and Baby Yoda to get a Jedi Master. So they come to a term like, here's what they actually say though. I'll help you do your, free your town or whatever, but you must ensure that Baby Yoda gets trained. Doesn't mean by her.
Right.
The way he said, I forgot the exact words, but it was, you will see that he is properly trained. You will see that he is properly trained. Not that you have to train him. You will just give him to someone that can train him.
Right.
So that's where Ahsoka, I don't think, has a mandatory, I have to train this kid now.
Yeah.
I think I just heard your child scream.
Yeah, she's laying down for a nap.
Like, Baby Yoda? So, I just wanted to point out that there's A30 350 blaster rifles. Do you know what those are?
That's the one that the guy has it towards the end, right? Like when he's like holding it? No?
No. That's the hired gun.
Okay.
The A30 350 blasters are just like common stock rifle blasters.
Oh.
Stormtrooper blasters.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Or maybe not the same exact.
So they're just
They're the same.
So it's your Walmart rifle.
It's a different model, I should say, but of the same series. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, so it's your Walmart variety blaster rifle.
Sure.
Not your Target style.
And then there's these
Walmart.
HK-87 assassin droids, which I need to talk to you guys about quick.
Aren't those...
Those are those two assassin droids that are...
but those are the same assassin droids that... Go ahead, tell your thing.
As who?
Aren't they associated with Thrawn somehow or something?
Yeah, but you know how.
I don't know how.
So, obviously, those are HK-87 assassin droids. They can be purchased.
Obviously.
And obviously...
Everybody should know that.
Well, yes. Those assassin droids can be purchased from anywhere. They're not just like distinctly Thrawn's.
Oh, okay.
But Thrawn does have
like
some HK-87 assassin droids. There was a symbol on the side of their head.
Yeah.
And it signifies Thrawn's 7th Fleet of the Navy.
Ah, okay. That's cool.
So
it brings it all together.
Little hint that of something to come. A little foreshadowment moment. And so then we get to know who the magistrate is. It was Morgan Elsbeth. That's her name. The magistrate.
Oh, okay.
Morgan Elsbeth. And she plunders worlds. She was around during the Clone Wars, and then when the Empire rose to power.
She a pirate?
She pretty much became like...
She's a warlord.
Yeah, essentially.
I get it.
Plunders worlds, and then Mando's like, well, look, he looks around. Obviously, she's not out of business yet. Because the planet is burnt to a crisp.
I know.
Yeah.
That whole place just looks like crap.
So then it cuts... So then Ahsoka comes back or whatever, and their plan starts or whatever. Ahsoka is running up to the wall, and then she just jumps up on the wall. Coolest scene ever. Starts hacking people. And then I thought it was really cool is like when she cuts that bell in half, she obviously cuts that dude in half too.
Oh yeah,
because the dude was in front.
Same thing.
The dude was in front of the bell, so if the bell gets cut in half, the dude got cut in half.
Oh jeez.
It was a perfect way of not showing it. Mm-hmm. Which is
thanks Disney.
Yeah, I was like, thanks Disney for no decapitations and cut in halves. Lame.
I appreciated it.
You know, when I was 6 and I saw Darth Maul get cut in half, I wasn't scared then, and I'm not scared now. Just have to point that out there, you know? So...
Deanna Lee, who plays Morgan... What is her name?
Elsbeth?
Morgan Elsbeth.
The Magistrate.
Deanna Lee Inosanto is the daughter of well-known martial arts instructor Dan Inosanto and Sue Ann Reveal... the godchild of Bruce Lee. Sorry, that's essentially what it is. She's Bruce Lee's godchild.
Okay, so she's just very bluntly a random Asian person.
Jeez.
Well, she's not Bruce Lee's daughter.
With Bruce Lee, though. That's just kind of cool.
I'm a huge fan of Bruce Lee. That makes me associated with Bruce Lee as well. That's.
Well, I mean, she's like two degrees of separation from him.
1 degree. She obviously knew him.
You think? What year did
Who doesn't know their godparents?
Well, look up when she died.
When she was
born. Died. Bruce Lee died young, dude. She could have been 1 year old.
Okay,
and
keep going through. I'll let you know.
Yeah, because I probably read. Anyways, so you guys are just both researching. Okay, so the magistrate orders to kill everyone after Ahsoka's like, "Where is your master?" So the magistrate's like,
"Who does number 2 work for?" Sorry,
number 9, Tarstar. So when Mando shows up, I'm glad he didn't have that shoulder piece on, because when Ahsoka tosses that shoulder piece onto the ground, he's like, "Your bounty hunter didn't work." But then when Mando finally comes into the scene, I was really hoping that he didn't just have the thing back on already.
And he did.
He didn't.
Oh, he didn't.
No.
Okay.
No,
so it was good.
You see him for like a couple seconds without it.
Yeah.
Right.
Bruce Lee died in 1973. She was born in 1966.
Yeah, so she's barely doing it. I'm sorry, I don't remember anything from when I was 6. So
you just said that when you were 6, and
you thought Darth Maul got cut in half.
This is Star Wars. That's the one thing I remember.
I'm just saying. I don't remember anything from when I was 6, except for a couple things.
Except for Star Wars, of course. How would you forget Star Wars?
How would you forget knowing Bruce Lee?
Because Bruce Lee is just a martial artist, dude.
Oh, just a martial artist. Okay.
The worst part is I know you're trolling, but I can't help but
intentionally confrontational. So I'm like, I have to say something, but I can't get mad because I know he's just doing this.
I love it.
Love it.
So then we see that Loath Cat.
What is that?
Have you watched Rebels?
No, I told you. It made me want to watch Rebels.
Okay, so a Loath Cat is essentially a cat from Lothal, the planet Lothal, which the series Rebels, majorly, I'd say for at least 75% of the series, takes place on that planet.
Got it.
Well, just about. They always go back.
Okay.
But, so basically, it's just an animal from that planet that gets, like I said, human trafficked across the galaxy. And so there was a little cat on this planet of Corvus.
Alien trafficked.
It could be human. Could be human. We don't know.
Human trafficking things.
Well, yeah. Evil. So I don't know what this word is, but the signet I meant to put on the assassin droids was from Grand Admiral Thrawn, 7th Fleet. So I noticed this at first, and then everyone started noticing it online. I got kind of ticked about it.
But you didn't notice it?
Well, I noticed it I was when I first watched. Noticed that scene. Yeah. I was like, oh, I know that.
Oh, you did know that?
Yeah. Right, and then everyone started posting about it right away. I was like, well, I can't be the first one now. So I was like, there's no point in mentioning it.
Yeah.
So then, Ahsoka Tano goes to face the magistrate, and the Mando goes against the hired gun. And we'll just talk about each fight here. So we'll start with the Mando and the hired gun, Lang. I just thought their little standoff was pretty funny because he just kind of kept inching closer and closer, and Mando's like, "That's far enough."
I know.
I was like, "Okay, serious."
Okay. I like how they just didn't do anything the whole time. That there's a fight going on in the background.
Right. Just waiting it out.
All right, and then when the fight ends, then they like talk and I don't know.
Yeah, as soon as you hear this spear hit the ground, he's like, "Well, looks like your side won."
They're just like sitting there listening. I love it.
So then I like how I kind of saw this coming slightly. How he's gonna try to fake him out and try to shoot him anyways. Like that's what he did, but
yeah,
I don't know. Like, why would you put your gun on your back and make it so?
It looked like it came from his ankle.
Yeah,
it was. I thought it was on his hip, back of his hip.
Because he leans way forward and then like goes to like stand up and bah!
Yeah. And that actor was familiar. I'm like, what the heck do I know him from?
Yeah, he's a popular actor.
Oh yeah, he played Kyle Reese in the Terminator, the original Terminator and stuff. And I don't know.
Oh.
So then the Ahsoka Tano fights the magistrate, and even loses the lightsaber in the process briefly.
Yeah.
Like, gets it right in the water. Obviously, it's not defective or anything.
She just did it on purpose almost, because like she was purposely not like going crazy attacking. She was just.
It was almost like a samurai fight, like really slow in the.
Well, she obviously didn't want to kill her because she wanted information from her.
Right. Again. So you had to disarm her.
So yeah.
She was fighting to disarm, while one person is fighting to kill. It's pretty hard.
Yeah, right.
You're trying to kill me, but I'm trying to just take your weapon away without inflicting, crucial damage to your vital organs. With a very hot plasma weapon.
Slice off her arms. You'd be fine.
But I like how she got on the inside of the spear and then was able to take it.
Oh,
just because, you better let go, your arms are gone. That kind of thing. So then,
That spear was sweet, and when the fight scene started, she, kind of spun it, and then, ting!
Right.
And then she's ready to
go.
The
way she holds it was pretty cool,
I know. Too. That little ting, I don't know why, I was just, so excited.
I would like to know what kind of fighting style stance it is, with the spear.
Rey style.
No.
I'm assuming something that Bruce Lee taught her at 6 years old.
Probably. Yeah, picture. She's doing some martial arts stance right there.
Well, yeah. Everyone knows now that she's associated with Bruce Lee. She has to post some kind of martial arts for her.
Oh man.
Anyways, back to the story. So, oh yeah, I just wanted to point this out. Mando is basically John Wayne in Mandalorian armor. Just his quick draw, just boom, boom, shoots that assassin droid that just turns out 180 and just shoots it dead straight in the.
I know.
I'm like, dude, John Wayne in a Mandalorian outfit.
Yeah, it was good.
Not like a Dirty Harry.
No Dirty Harry, just John Wayne.
Okay.
Who's Dirty Harry?
Clint Eastwood.
What's that?
Good lord. Stop trolling.
Jeez.
Well, don't ask such dumb questions. Funny. So then we get the big reveal of where is Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah.
Get the name drop. My pants fell off. I was super excited.
Why were your pants off? What were you doing during this episode? As soon as Thrawn comes, well, pants are coming down.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh. I'm just imagining where's Grand Admiral Thrawn? Dustin Zip.
Oh, dude, I'm overheating.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
is this the first time
cough
that
up
Thrawn has
a lot.
ever been? No, Thrawn was in Rebels.
He was in Rebels.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
and he had his own three-book series.
Yeah.
But have you read the new one, Ascendancy?
I haven't read the because he had 2 books.
3. A trilogy.
Oh, it was 3?
Thrawn, we got the one Thrawn Alliances and Thrawn Treason. And now there's 3. Thrawn Ascendancy, which is a part of a new trilogy that explains the origins of how...
Okay.
Well, where he is in the Chiss and stuff. It's like a straight, all Chiss Ascendancy kind of novel.
Oh, okay.
Zip.
I almost said it. Oh, gosh.
Don't get me started on those audiobooks, man.
Anyways, so for those who don't know who he is he?
In canon now, because I know who he is in the Heir to the Empire and stuff.
No, these are canon.
But I know, but in Heir to the Empire, the original story where Thrawn was introduced, I've read those. I haven't read the new books.
Oh, okay.
So, and I've seen him
they're
in Rebels a little bit,
but not.
They're basically the same type of person. Like he collects art and all that stuff.
Right.
Still.
They're the same character.
Yeah. Okay.
Like maybe minor, teeny things, but
yeah.
I mean, personality-wise, is pretty much the exact same.
Do you know anything about Thrawn, Sherman?
Mm-mm.
No, nothing.
You don't even know who that is.
Nope.
Do you know what he looks like?
Do you know what he looks like?
No.
Oh wow, you don't know anything about Thrawn.
Nope.
Oh,
That's why I like being like the guy who doesn't know stuff about everything. Because
Dustin knows everything. I know 50%, and you.
I'm here to make sure our viewers also get.
He's a blue guy.
Looks like Nebula.
He's like a sophisticated avatar.
I don't know who to. No, we're not gonna say that.
He kind of
that Avatar movie is trash.
So this gives me middle-aged Nightcrawler vibes.
Yeah, he's kind of like
that's kind of how he looks,
but without a tail, and more Avatar-like.
Just he's got blue skin, black hair, and red eyes.
No, he's a blue humanoid. That's about what he is. Except he's super smart, and a lot of their race is force sensitive.
But I'm saying, like, based on just the appearance, that's what he looks like.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. For the people who don't know who he is or what he looks like,
he looks like them. He does not. His character is nothing like those characters.
Right.
No.
His character is more like...
The appearance looks like a Nightcrawler. A very...
Ozymandias from Watchmen. Have you ever read Watchmen?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like that. Where he's like super strategic. Like, there's something in the... Again, I've only read Heir to the Empire and I don't remember the exact details because it was like 10 years ago. But he collects art and somehow he like learns strategy from art or something. Like he collects the art and he sees how it is like made and you know what I'm talking about?
Dude, we have to do a whole separate video
on Thrawn.
On Thrawn.
Yeah.
Like his military strategy alone would be a 20-minute video.
Right.
So
he's like Ozymandias and Ender from Ender's Game.
If I start, it's going to be a 20-minute little run off.
Okay.
Like I said, I would love to.
More to come.
Yeah, more to come, sure. So we're almost done here with our not synopsis. So Ahsoka gives him the spear, and Mando's like, well, I didn't finish the job. I can't get the spear. And he's like, well, it belongs with Mandalorians because it's pure Beskar. Mm-hmm. So he gets the spear.
I like how he's just like, no, it's not mine. Because he didn't like finish the job. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, okay, but you did bring the Jedi here. You just couldn't contain her.
I think he wanted her dead in the head to prove more sense.
Okay.
I don't think it was said, but I think that's more implied. Like, kill the Jedi, please. Mm-hmm. Don't just bring her back, because obviously the Jedi would kill every single one of them in there.
Yeah.
So Amando assumes the proper training that they agreed upon was going to come from Ahsoka, but like I was saying earlier, I think that Ahsoka said that he will see that he gets proper training, but not necessarily from herself.
Right.
And so she tells him to go to the planet Tython. Nipples hardened.
Well, I mean, your pants are already off at this point, so like...
Dude, do you guys know about Tython?
No,
it
this
sounds
is the first time I heard it.
I actually have heard of this one, but I can't remember like details.
Okay, I'm going to tell you from Legends content that Tython is the birthplace of the Jedi.
Oh, so yes, I have seen. I've seen that episode of Clone Wars. Because that's the one where like the secret planet, right? Like you can't find it. You have to like.
Oh, is that
it
that
finds
episode?
You, right?
Is that episode?
Huh?
Is that the one where like you?
No, that's Mortis. That's not on the map. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Dang it.
Mortis is not on the actual physical map.
Does Rebels go to Tython?
No. This is the first canon Tython. Tython has never existed in Star Wars canon universe until now. It was only in Legends content, and the story of Tython quickly is it was the birthplace of like Force users essentially, and so then they have 2 or 3 moons on that planet: the Ashlan, the Bogon, and the Bendu.
Okay.
Bendu we already met in Rebels. You didn't watch it, sorry.
Okay.
And Bendu is the one in the middle. Ashlan represents the light side. The Bogon represents the dark side. Okay. And so in Legends content, when a Jedi would lean too much toward the dark side, they would get sent to the Ashlan moon to balance them out. And then if they leaned too much towards the light side, they would send them to the Bogon, the dark side, and balance them out that way, and then get sent back.
Huh. Okay. Interesting.
So Tython was essentially just the ground for all the Jedi.
Wow.
And so obviously space travel had to have been invented
right.
in some time, so then they eventually left the planet. But that was where it started, and so that's, yeah.
Weirdly enough, how do you lean too close to the light side?
You become a Jedi, or you just are so devoted to one rule, and you can't have any attachment to anyone.
Nothing is confirmed of this, but I firmly believe... Yeah, I'll say this. I firmly believe that Ahsoka is the canonized version of a Grey Jedi.
Of a Grey Jedi?
It's not been confirmed or said or nothing.
Oh, yeah. I would agree with that.
Because in Rebels, she says, I am no Jedi. And yes, Mandalorian is looking for a Jedi, but he doesn't know the difference between a Jedi, a Sith, and all this stuff. He just knows that they use this magical power called the Force.
Space wizard.
Right.
Laser swords.
And so he doesn't know the difference. He just knows that a Jedi wields this power. He doesn't know the politics of it and that there's more depth to it. So, I don't know. A lot to think about.
Yeah.
But basically, that's pretty much the end of the episode. He basically says, she says, bring him to the planet Tython. There you will find the ancient ruins of a Jedi temple. And you need to place Grogu on the Seeing Stone.
Seeing Stone.
Yes, which we will talk about shortly.
Yeah.
And so another Jedi may reach out to find Grogu, but that also means to me that any Force user could, good or bad.
I was thinking that exact same thing. I'm like, well, what prevents like a Sith from doing
She even says
it's like in Lord of the Rings where you open up a Palantir or a Sorcerer's Stone or whatever in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
You're like, you don't know who's looking back. Like, that's what I thought when I heard that.
But even kind of hints that it might not be a Jedi because she says there aren't a lot of Jedi left. So it kind of hints that maybe not even a Jedi would find them. Maybe, but again, we don't really know any dark side users that are alive at this point. Palpatine is like somewhat half surviving on Exegol.
Right.
Vader's dead. Like, there's really no one that we canonically know.
With the fact that she says there aren't many Jedi left, besides Luke, obviously, who else is still alive?
Luke.
That's it?
Ben is technically 4
Ezra's
years
still
old.
alive.
We don't. Well, yes.
Theorized, but it's not
well, Dave Filoni did confirm that he is still alive.
Yeah.
Just doesn't know where he's at.
So
yet.
Ezra, Luke, Ahsoka.
Yeah, those 3.
And yeah, there's got to be other
technically,
ones.
Ben Solo's 4 years old at this point.
Yeah.
So really, just those 3.
Leia.
Briefly.
I don't know. There's other ones out there. So
there's not that we know of.
Well, Leia, Luke. Well, we just ran through them.
Yeah, those are the only ones.
Right. Yeah.
You just said there was more. I'm just like, no, dude. There's those.
I thought that there were other ones out there, possibly. Like, who might have survived the purge.
Cal Kestis probably still alive from Jedi Fallen Order.
Okay.
We haven't seen his death, so we don't really know that.
There you go.
I mean, they could always create more stories, and I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure those weren't the only. I'm sure Kanan, Cal, Obi-Wan, Yoda. I'm sure those, and a couple other mentioned in the comics. I'm sure those weren't the only ones that survived, because there was, like they said, there was tens of thousands of Jedi. I'm sure not all tens of thousands of them died.
Right.
So. Yeah, I'm sure hid their powers and probably did not walk the life of a Jedi anymore after that. Probably lived a simple life because of fear of using the power, but
yeah.
Who knows?
Okay.
So that's essentially the end. Yeah. Mando leaves and she walks off. End of the episode. I just wanted to cool note that Doug Chang is still doing set designs.
That's a cool note, but the fact that she's Bruce Lee's goddaughter is not a cool note.
Do you know who Doug Chang is?
No.
Didn't he do a lot of the set designs for like the
prequels?
For the prequels, I thought it was the Force Awakens trilogy.
That too.
Okay. Because you can definitely see a lot of it, especially in this episode, because of like the the way the gates are, especially from like the way you see like city stuff in Jakku.
You know how a lot of people thought the prequels were majorly CGI? Did you know they're majorly set props and miniatures? And that Doug Chang did a lot of the work for? He works for ILM.
I know there is a lot of CGI in the prequels, but not as much as people would.
More in Revenge of the Sith than anything.
Yeah. Right.
And the Geonosis battle. But other than that, it's mainly just typical green screen, and then for bigger shots, like the Phantom Menace, like the pod racing stuff, it's all miniatures.
Really?
All miniatures.
All miniatures?
Like, the scene that's the stadium or whatever? It's all miniature.
Huh.
All those are just like, if you look closely, they're all little Q-tips. They're literally just Q-tips. Just all colored Q-tips.
Yeah.
They don't move. It's funny. It's cool.
It's just like sports nowadays.
And Dave Filoni, again, directed this episode. I'm done. Go ahead.
Sweet. Well, I think we've kind of covered everything about this episode.
This is
a lot of things dropped.
I can't imagine anything.
This was also the longest episode of this season so far.
Yeah.
More than the first episode?
Well, this one was 47 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I thought the first one was like
this was
almost an hour.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, do you guys include the end credits or no?
I don't know. I include just the length of the episode.
The length of the episode was 54 minutes long.
Okay. And is that longer than the first episode of the season? I thought the first episode was the longest, but I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Disney Plus on here. So.
Yeah. So, Sherman, you want to take us out?
Sure.
No, as always, if you guys want to become a Fandom Night yourself, join us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
TikTok.
YouTube, obviously.
Someday.
We'll get there.
We'll see.
We'll talk about that after. I actually have some ideas.
Okay, cool.
But, yeah.
I think that's it.
This is the way.